Welcome, everybody. So I'm Amanda Godfrey from Mystical Dragon, and tonight I wanted to just do a little Facebook Live all about some magical ideas that are connected with the Scorpio full moon, and just sharing a little bit about this upcoming super full moon that we have in a few days' time. Hi, Kerry, welcome. So we have, hey Heather, hey Jennifer. Yes, we have a super full moon that's in the sign of Scorpio that will be on Tuesday. For us, it's in the afternoon here in Australia. It's at 1:31 p.m. to be precise. But other places in the world, we also have London. It's going to be at 4:31 a.m. on the Tuesday, the 27th. And if you're in somewhere like New York, it'll actually be the day before, so April 26th. It'll be about 11:31 p.m. Oh, hi Emma. Hi Charlotte. Welcome, girls. So this is a really quite a powerful full moon that we have coming up with the Scorpio energy, with the super full moon, and also because, especially here in the Southern Hemisphere, we have the Witches' Sabbath of Samhain or Halloween that we have just a few days after that, where the veils are always very thin. And the Scorpio energy already works a lot with, where the veils are thin, we can work with a lot of spiritual energy and a lot of psychic energy. And so it kind of really works together really well for us and whatever it is that we want to focus on at the Scorpio full moon. But we do have to be aware that we do have that thinning of the veils. So that makes it easier to do that spiritual work, to connect with deceased loved ones, to do all of that on both accounts. So it's like a layering effect that we do have with those two energies. And plus, I always find it fascinating for us here in the Southern Hemisphere how we have Anzac Day is literally kind of just before Samhain, where we are honouring those that have gone before as well. So it all just kind of works really nicely together on that particular level. And of course, we've also got lots energetically going on that is also adding extra layers at the moment for us. We've had Schumann resonance spikes in the last few days. We've had another massive solar flare and more solar storms that they're expecting because of that. So we've had quite a number of those, which also mean that we can be really connected on that spiritual psychic level and having more dreams, having more of that intuitive flow, more synchronicities, more of all of that kind of energy. So we've really got a lot of layers on that particular level that's going on for us at present and really across the next week. We've really got that energy. So it's worth being aware of because it also means we'll be extra sensitive, we'll be picking up on more. We might not even realize that we're extra sensitive and that we're actually picking up on perhaps other people's emotions, other people's stuff that's going on, and we can be soaking it up and picking it up really without realizing it. So it is really worth being aware of that with this full moon most especially. Hey Bonnie, hey Alvie. Oh, it's lovely to see so many of you guys joining me. Thank you. Hey Naomi, Felicity, Tammy, Tara. So it is a super full moon, and that simply means that the moon and the earth are going to be extra close together this month as well, which of course adds more energy again. So it tends to be stronger energy because the two are much closer together. It also means that the moon will probably appear a little bit bigger in the sky as well. So the super full moons, we tend to get, the moon looks that little bit bigger. And from everything that I've been reading, the best time to do some of your moon gazing is going to be around 45 minutes to an hour after sunset. So keep that in mind as well. We will see it rising up from the horizon. So you do want to, if you want to try and see it around 45 minutes to an hour after sunset, you do want to have, kind of a good position where you can see the horizon, or maybe leave it a little bit longer. You may have noticed some people are calling it a pink super Scorpio full moon as well. I love all these names that they like to come up with. They're more like every single full moon has, it's like from the farmers' almanacs. They have a special name, and that's what the pink full moon in April tends to be called, a pink full moon. So it's not that the moon is actually going to be pink. Sorry if I'm disappointing anyone there. But it's just the name that the full moon in April usually gets called. And apparently it's connected to, there's a particular herb that flowered pink that used to start blooming around this time in the northern hemisphere, because of course they're coming into their spring. So that's what that's connected to. So it's not literally going to be pink, unfortunately, I think, because it'd be kind of nice to see a nice big pink moon, really, something a little bit different. So, of course, every full moon we've got lots of things that we can do, no matter what star sign it falls in. So things like make sure you get your crystals out to charge. You can create moon water. You can do divination. Definitely get into your meditation as well. Absolutely get out and do some moon gazing, especially if the weather's nice and you get that opportunity to, see her in all her glory. It's wonderful. I always find it's a good time to also refresh your altar or your sacred space. So it's a great time to get in and give it a clean up and maybe refocus your altar, either around the full moon or just before the full moon. So obviously if you're going to do any spell work, that would be the ideal time to be able to refresh it and actually set your altar up so that it's focused around whatever you're going to be focusing on at that full moon. Of course, it's always a potent time for any spell work, any magical work, any manifesting or clearing out or healing that you want to do. And really great just for kind of being a little bit quieter and contemplating and doing those sorts of things as well. So that's all worth keeping in mind as we go forward. But some of the keywords specifically for the Scorpio full moon is that psychic spiritual growth, or even magical self growth. So if you want to work on, magical me, this is the ideal time for that. Secrets, anything connected on a sexual side of things, sexual matters, transformation, illumination. It's a time to do work to stop gossiping, to get to the bottom of messy situations, anything connected with wisdom and karma. And the Scorpio moon is always a really potent time for doing any kind of healing on our reproductive organs as well. Remembering, don't just think spells when it comes to these keywords. Think about anything at all that might connect in with these keywords. So it might simply be, okay, I need to set some goals around, some of these areas, or I need to make decisions. It's an ideal time to make decisions around any of these key areas, or put some physical things in place. So once you've made some decisions, perhaps take some actual physical steps forward in those particular areas. So, know that it's not just about your spell work. So that's why always with these Facebook Lives, I try to not only suggest types of spells that you might consider doing, but also, what else could you do that's around that as well? Is this the time of change, being a full moon in Scorpio? Yes, it does tend to be. It's got that transformational energy, so it can be a time of change and new beginnings, bringing in the new. Definitely it can, Heather. Okay, so as I mentioned, the veils are thin, and one of the big focuses that we can have when it comes to the Scorpio energy is to really focus on our spiritual selves, our psychic selves, and like I said, our magical selves. For those of you that are on our mailing list for Mystical Dragon, you will have already got my suggested spell that I've mentioned in there, which came out, I think, yesterday. I'll be posting that to our Facebook page as well in the next day or two, but that's very much focused around kind of really connecting with our magical selves and helping to expand the connection we have for the magical work that we do. And I really like to kind of focus around that area specifically with the Scorpio energy. As I said, because I feel like it just falls into place with Samhain, with Anzac Day, with the veils being thin. It just seems to make a lot of logical sense to me that this is a great area to work with. But of course, that makes it the perfect time to do divination. So pull out whatever your favorite divination tools are: oracle cards, tarot cards, your runes, pendulum, scrying, whatever you like scrying with, perhaps your crystal ball or whatever it happens to be that you love working with. Around the Scorpio full moon is going to be the ideal time to pull that out and do some really focused divination for yourself. Perhaps look at some specific areas in your life you're needing guidance with, or ask some really specific questions. You'll find that the guidance will really flow a lot more around this Scorpio full moon. Like, it'll flow more than probably a lot of other full moons because of that thinning of the veils and the heightened energy that we're experiencing at the moment. You'll probably find there's a lot of dreams that are going on for you at present too, and that'll be being triggered by all this energy. So do pay attention to your dreams as well. They're a really great way that universe can bring through guidance for us as well. So do pay attention to those too. Maybe keep a dream journal, particularly at the moment if you're not already keeping one. So it's of course good to do spells for our psychic growth, for connecting with that magical self, for expanding any of that kind of psychic, intuitive, spiritual kind of connection and energy that we have. This is the ideal time to do spell work and magical work around that. And I've actually got a few spells that are on Mystical Dragon's Book of Shadows. That's on our website. So if you're looking for any spells that are specific to that, do jump on and have a look at our Book of Shadows on there. That's all free. I've got those. There must be about 30 spells up there now. Oh, I can see there's a few people that resonate with the dreams, definitely. Yes, unfortunately, Bonnie, we can have nightmares as well. Remember that often nightmares is like our subconscious that's trying to work through something or understand something. So it can be good to jot those down too, and perhaps try and do a little bit of a healing focus around whatever themes come up in nightmares. And I always find that if you have something like a nightmare, it can be good to decide you're going to do a big cleanse as well, especially if you haven't done one for a little while. So perhaps look to do a cleanse at home to see if that helps to shift some energy as well. It's also a good time to just do like some spiritual study, to do a lot of spiritual reading at the moment, to perhaps take a course or do a workshop, or just make some decisions around that spiritual side of your life. Whether it is, okay, actually I feel really guided, I do need to, go do a course in this or in that, or I really want to expand it on a certain topic within that spiritual realm. So, even making decisions or deciding to book something, etc., is all ideal within this energy too. There's crystals we can work with that help to expand on this level as well. Like your amethyst is beautiful to work with at this time, helps us on those psychic levels. And that's a good one for nightmares too, Bonnie Honey. It's really good for dreams and assisting with, clearing away nightmares and helping protect us from nightmares. Stuff like your lapis lazuli is great, labradorite is great, charoite, which is another purple crystal, is great. Blue apatite is really great. There's lots of really good kind of spiritual, psychic connected crystals that you could carry or work with throughout the Scorpio full moon that would just help to amplify those energies, especially if you are going to sit down and do some meditation or do some divination or some kind of spiritual work. They're the real ideal times, to grab some of those crystals out as well. So that's really good to work with. On a goddess level, you might want to perhaps call in and work with a goddess like Saraswati, Hecate, Athena, goddess Ceridwen, or Isis, or goddess Psyche. They're all really good ones that are really good at working with when we're trying to expand and connect on spiritual levels as well. So they might be good energies that you want to call on and ask for assistance on those levels too at this time with the Scorpio full moon. If you did want to work with something like secrets, for instance, so this is a really good time to put energy into, perhaps, I really want to keep a particular secret. I don't want this to be something that I share with anybody else. Or even to confide in somebody, perhaps a secret that you've been holding on to for a long time and it's become a burden and you just need to share that with someone. So rather than it having to be magic, you could actually make the decision, yep, this isn't healthy for me to be holding on to, and I'm going to, I feel really comfortable. I think I might share it with this person in particular. So, that's a way you can work with that secret kind of energy with Scorpio. We can also do things like helping to stop gossip. When it comes to this, I want to say, first of all, please don't put people in the freezer. That's one of the first things I hear people talk about if they're having a problem with things like gossip or somebody's being a problem, that they, put them in the freezer. And that is not a good idea. That is binding magic, and it tends to manipulate people's free will. And also tends to bind you to them. So you might have them go quiet for a little while, but you won't get rid of them from your life either. So please don't do that. And if you have people in the freezer, it's a good idea maybe to take them out of the freezer and do some releasing work around that as well. So instead, I would suggest, perhaps, I found that something like a road opener spell actually have used in the past, which worked really well for being able to stop when there was people gossiping about me and being really just mean and nasty and terrible. And I needed, a way to, I guess, try and help clear that and stop that from happening, because it was a really stressful time. So for me, a road opener spell, which I have my version in our Book of Shadows online, helps to clear obstacles and also helps to open up a positive forward path. So you could make the focus, the obstacle being, this gossiping energy that's going on, and of course with harm to none, and just see that road ahead opening kind of stress-free without any of these problems and dramas. So if you're having any dramas like that, that is what I would suggest. So do jump on the Book of Shadows, and you'll find my version there. There's lots of different versions of road opening spells. We also have a spell pack we've put together which has the instructions printed for you and has what you need in it as well, that we sell at Mystical Dragon itself if you need. So they're both really good options, but you can certainly put energy into clearing any gossip and stopping any gossip, of course, like I said, with harm to none, without doing binding. Another area that I thought was really good to focus on is that transformation and illumination energy that we can get with the Scorpio energy too, which for me, I essentially see that as being like new beginning energy. It's like creating a new chapter. So this is really a time to kind of jump wholeheartedly into any new opportunities that might be or might have come up for you, might be coming up for you, may come up for you in the next week or so. So it might be accepting a new job. It might be moving home. It might even be something as simple as getting a haircut for that transformational side of things, getting a new outfit. So, understand that that's really supported energy with this Scorpio full moon. So you can definitely, even if it's applying for a job, so you might not necessarily accept it, it might be making the decision that, yes, I need to make a change in this particular area of my life. And so now I'm going to start applying for jobs because I've not been happy in my job for such a long time, etc., etc. I think you get the sense as to what I'm saying there. Also know that the new moon spell that I shared about 2 weeks ago with the last new moon is kind of ideal, would work really nicely with this transformational energy too. with that spell, which I haven't quite got up on our Book of Shadows yet, but I will work really hard to get it up for you guys tomorrow, those of you that want to be able to find it again. It was all about opening ourselves to universe and us being that open book and saying to universe, show me where you want me to be, where you want me to put my energy. Because sometimes we just kind of need to clear the slate and let universe give us some guidance and some signs and direction, rather than us being the one that's, having to forge exactly what direction that we're going and have all these goals and ideas. Sometimes we kind of need to pull all of that away and just kind of clear the slate and be like, please show me, what's the best direction for me right now, because I'm really not sure. And so that would certainly fall under this. So if you didn't get to do it at the last new moon, or even if you did and you're still in that space, this Scorpio full moon would be really ideal to work with that energy and perhaps do that spell as well. I've just been asked if the moon comes under Scorpio and your star sign is Scorpio, does it make it even stronger for you? Yes, definitely. It certainly can make it much stronger for you. You might get stronger signs that you need to pay attention to as well, Brianna. So definitely it can. And even just a simple way that we can work with that transformational energy, you might like to charge a white candle up with, what is it that you want to transform, or what aspect of your life is it that you want to transform, and charge up a white candle with that idea, that, think about it, see it, feel it, all of that, put that into a white candle and light that. And that way you can kind of put it out to universe. This is the direction, the transformation that I really want and need, please. And ask universe to bring you the signs and show you the support so that you can make that transformation, you can create that new beginning, and you can kind of more confidently step down that path. And of course, things like vision boards are also really ideal as well around that transformational energy, where you could do a vision board around a specific area of your life that you really want to create and transform, or around the whole of your life. It's up to you how you want to work with your vision boards. You can really do different ones for different parts of your life, or have one that kind of has many aspects that you'd like to embrace within your whole life. And the last area that I wanted to focus on with the Scorpio full moon specifically is the healing of reproductive organs as well. So for anyone that has any issues like endometriosis, has cysts on the ovaries, might have fertility issues, maybe you're trying to fall pregnant, or maybe you're already pregnant and you'd like to do some more, put some support around that pregnancy to make sure that everything goes really well and, things keep going along smoothly and everything's healthy and happy. And these are all things we can certainly do that will be amplified around this Scorpio full moon. So we can certainly do any work on any of that. So for instance, you might do regular hands-on healing for yourself specifically around, that area of the body. So, putting your hands on your tummy, your lower tummy, and putting in healing maybe daily for the next week, specifically around any fertility issues that you might have. Or like I said, if it's pregnancy, around supporting the pregnancy, a healthy, happy pregnancy. Or you might make some decisions on, I've been putting certain things off for too long. I'm going to go make a booking, go book in with a doctor or the specialist that I've put off, or have a particular treatment, or go book in to see a certain healer that might be able to help me with that particular thing. So like I said, it doesn't have to just be spells. It might just be making decisions, and some of those physical actions would be actually starting to make those bookings and book into those appointments. Or you might know somebody that, it might not be you directly, but you might know somebody that has those kinds of issues that you want to assist them by doing some healing work for them. And if that's the case, once again, I'll refer you to our Book of Shadows. We've got a few spells that I've got up there that's specifically for sending healing to someone else. And there's also some spells there that are connected to doing healing for ourselves as well on a spell level, not just, doing hands-on healing for yourself, although that is very effective. Some crystals that I would suggest that really work well around those kinds of around fertility issues. Um, Moonstone is a really lovely one. I've got a piece of rainbow moonstone here. That's really good specifically for female reproductive system. Rose quartz is fantastic for all reproductive systems. Also, garnet and ruby are really good for the reproductive system for males and females as well. And chrysocolla is another beautiful crystal that's fantastic for everything connected to the female reproductive system as well. It helps support pregnancy on many levels too. So they would be some of the crystals I would recommend that specifically connect in with the healing of the reproductive organs. And you might want to work with some goddesses like Aphrodite or Isis or Hera or Bridget. They're all really great energies to work with for any of those focuses as well. So that is essentially what I wanted to cover with the Scorpio full moon, or our super Scorpio full moon. Such a mouthful. I also wanted to let you guys know that beautiful Laura that works with us at Mystical Dragon, she's from Amethyst Light Therapies. She runs her guided meditations that have the vocal toning and the singing bowls for every full moon and every new moon, and those are held live online. So it doesn't matter whether you're in Melbourne or not, it's something that's accessible to you. And Laura will be running one for this next full moon, actually on the night of the full moon, so next Tuesday, the 27th at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Times. Only $10 to join her meditation, so you do just need to make sure that you book, and we send you out the link so that you can join us via Zoom. So that might be something you want to think about doing. Like I said, all of your spiritual work and meditation is absolutely ideal, particularly at the Scorpio full moon. So you will find the links for that. Mystical Dragon has an event that's set up which has the links. You can go through to our website and be able to book that way if that's something you would like to do and you'd like to join us for that. They're always beautiful and leave you floating afterwards. So thank you guys. I hope that has kind of given you a little bit of inspiration as to what you might do at this upcoming full moon. Do remember too that even if you can't do something on Tuesday itself, that you have, we tend to have a 3-day, it's like a 3-day gap that where the energy is the most intense. So the day of the full moon, the day before the full moon, and the day after the full moon, that's where you kind of got that window where the energy is really intense and you can really utilize that full moon energy. So don't stress if you've got things on and you're already thinking it's going to be really hard to do something, but you'd like to on the actual day. Maybe think about doing something just before or just after instead, because you'll still be really, you'll have a lot of that strong super moon energy. Guys, please do take care of yourselves. If you've been feeling a lot of the aches and pains and headaches and exhaustion and all of these things that are kind of coming through with the solar storms and Schumann resonance and heightened energies we're experiencing, please make sure you're resting and taking care of yourself. I did a live just a couple of days ago with some ideas there of things that can help you if you're struggling with the energy. So do check that out. It's much shorter than this one that I've done tonight. So thank you guys. Sending out loads of love to you all. I really hope that you find a lot of connection, a lot of magic that comes through for you this Scorpio full moon. Sending loads of love out to you all, guys. Thank you so much.